Thank you all for being here tonight as we celebrate our pilots who have achieved the very highest standards of excellence. A big round of applause right there. We're going to start this off right. We're going to put the emotion behind the thanks for all they're doing, so we got to work at this a little bit, right? Okay, let's go philosophy-wise. An ancient Latin proverb, often attributed to an acclaimed military general, advises all who listen that we will either find a way or make one. Find a way or make one. Must have been a Marine general. I don't know. But anyway, this evening we will pay tribute to ALPA pilots who embody and exude just such perseverance. Their resiliency has truly transformed our union and our industry. This is how we became the safest form of transportation in the history of humankind by the efforts made by our pilots. So give them a round of applause again. All right. You know why? Because they have either found a way or created one to deliver on their dedication to improving aviation jump seats, pilot assistance, aviation security, and aviation safety. So tonight, we're pleased to have with us a number of former ALPA Air Safety, Aviation Security, Pilot Assistance, Aviation Jump Seat Award honorees. Do you know, you should know, all honorees come back. If you get into this club, Diodone, how are you doing? Did anybody hear Diodone speak the other day, today? Stand up, Diodone. That man found a way. That man lost his mother and his father at 3 years old. That man had to live in poverty. That man, right, overcame adversity, and through the strength of his own mind and his own heart, here he is today. And an American citizen one day, 2 days, one day. I think you should all stand up on this one for this gentleman. Please. Diodone. Diodone, I meant it this morning. I am never going to complain about, insignificant things anymore. I'm just not going to do it, all right? Because, people like you. And oh, by the way, he's written 4 books, if you didn't know. He's written 4 books. He's unbelievable. How old are you, Diodone? 21. 21. I got suits older than you. But anyway. So glad you're here with us today. And I meant it with that twin-engine training. We're going flying together, I'm telling you. But really, seriously, folks, these individuals have contributed immeasurably to our industry. I mean, there's just no way to ever repay what they've given us, what they've given our pilots and our association, and really our country as well. So please join me in thanking them as I call each name, all right? And hopefully I won't leave anybody out this year. So, former Pilot Assistance Award honorees. Captain Tom O'Toole. Tom, where are you? There he is. There he is. Tom, she's our 2011 Pilot Assistance Award honoree. I know this person. She's just absolutely. I met her at the first Pilot Assistance Forum when I was NSC, National Safety Coordinator. Isabel Caron, where are you, Isabel? 2013, Pilot Assistance Award honoree. Just an extraordinary person. I just remember her walking up to me after that, and some of the things she said, you could see, they exude this energy and this desire to serve others, In pilot assistance, like I've said it before, you judge an organization by the way it comes to its members in need. and Pilot Assistance does that 24/7. Captain Thomas Thornton, a dear friend, 2014 Pilot Assistance Award honoree. Where are you, Tom? Where are you? Okay. All right, great. Welcome, Tom. Oh, yeah, I love this man. Captain Benjamin Cologne. Captain Benjamin. Ben. Ben, weren't we at the Udvar Hazy? Is that where we did you before? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, just a wonderful man, gave so much. You know, that's what I was telling you, too. All these award winners, some of them, obviously retired, some of them. And I don't know if you know, but the Airline Pilots Association, we came in 2019 and said we had a program called From Recruitment to Retirement. Now we're making it recruitment to forever. Because we're in Alpha Pilot, a recruitment to internment. When you are, seriously, I'm 65, okay, so I'm not that far. But how do you give up being an Alpha pilot? You don't just hang up your wings and say, okay, I'll forget everything that I just, gave my heart and soul to for 30-something years. So it's really important, and we want to tap into all the knowledge here, usually with advisory groups. We got a pilot peer support program now amongst retirees that will train retirees to help one another. HIMSS program, right? The HIMSS program, you know what that's all about. But we're going to have a HIMSS-like assistance program, because what do you do when you leave, right? You need to continue your help. So, and that's just the beginning, folks. That is just the beginning. The airline pilots we're going to take care of our pilots forever. That's what we're going to do. All right. So, here's a dear friend of mine, Captain Darren Dorn, the 2014 Aviation Security Award honoree. Darren! Woohoo! There he is, right there. And of course, let's not forget Captain Eric Herman, the 2017 Aviation Security Award honoree. All right, and now the former Aviation Safety Award honorees. Captain William Melvin, 1977 Air Safety Award honoree. Captain Lindsay Fenwick, 2005 Air Safety honoree. And what about this one? Our dear friend, now president of the RTCA, Radio Technical Commission on Aeronautics, Captain Terry McVenas, 2007. And this guy better be here, but I didn't see him. Captain Ray Gentleman? You here? Where are you, Ray? Where are you, Jelena? Is he here? There you are. Hey, Ray, you did not come and say hi to me? I am just hurt. You're hiding out in that Nav Canada suite job, aren't you, over there? Yeah, I know. He said he's the luckiest guy in the world. He's got a job in Nav Canada right now. Actually, any job in Canada is not bad, but Nav Canada's pretty cool. And now this one, another person who kind of sort of took me under his wing, Captain Bill DeGrow, 2011 Air Safety honoree. Bill. These are like Alpha gods. I can't even believe I'm saying their names and introducing them, and I still pinch myself about this stuff. Captain Mark Rogers, 2012 Air Safety Award honoree. This is a hell of a nice guy. That guy's sharp. All right, now here's a dear friend of mine that I've known forever, all right? And I just used to look up to him because I was at FedEx with him. Captain Michael Bender, from 2013 Air Safety Award honoree. Mike. I bet that hurt, Mike. I know a recent recipient of a knee or two, and he makes it out here, right? He comes out here for his fellow award winners. That's devotion. Oh, and this one. What a rock star. Captain Helena Cunningham, 2014, Air Safety. Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines making us proud. There you go. All right, Captain John Klinger, 2015 Air Safety Award. John. Oh, and here's one of my favorites. He's sitting at the same table, I believe. All right. You know, some people that are just, you know, they're all extraordinary in their own way. It's just so, I get goosebumps. I kind of got goosebumps right now. Captain Scotty Hammond. I call him Scotty. You all call him Stripes. Yeah, there he is. Look, Scotty. You see? Stripes. Look at that. Look at that. Now, we also have many special guests with us tonight. And I'd like to introduce the distinguished individuals who are seated at our head table, all right? So please join me in welcoming Al Madar, the Vice President, Operational Safety and Strategy of Boeing. Thank you, Al. Thank you for coming out here. These people come out here to pay tribute to our pilots. A dear friend, we all know him, we all love him, Captain Craig Hoskins, Vice President, Safety, Security, Technical Affairs, Airbus. Yep, there he is, all right? And hold on. His wife, Mary. Mary, stand up. I didn't see your name here. Mary's like one of the family. She's like one of the family. Now, this is a big one, okay, folks? So I get to travel around, right? I look for people who are labor leaders, who share a vision of unified labor, of labor solidarity that knows no boundaries. Well, I heard a man speak one day, and it really, you know, at staying at this age of my life, that it changed my life, but it gave me an idea, it gave us an idea, and we formed a North American alliance together with Captain Tim Perry, who I'll introduce here in a second, from Canada, but also, so it's, and I love your name. I love your name. I love all your names. all the Mexican names. Jose Humberto Gual Angeles. Stand up, please. The President, Secretary General, ASPA de Mexico. Another great labor leader. If you watch CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, you know who I'm talking about. And that is President Sarah Nelson of the International President Association of Flight Attendants, CWA, AFL-CIO. Stand up, Sarah, please, again. Let's talk about another labor leader at my table, all right? This young man is the president of the Colegio de Pilotos Aviadores de Mexico, Angel Dominguez Katzin. All right, and a dear friend of mine, dear friend of Sarah's, dear friend of the associations, and a real asset in our international area, and helping us coordinate efforts in the International Federation of Airline Pilots, the North Atlantic Regional Vice President, Captain Carlos Rodriguez. Go ahead, Rodriguez, get up. Carlos, thank you so much. And last, but certainly not least, if I don't want to sleep on the couch, my wife, Lori Esposito. Lori. Yeah. Lori is a labor leader at the Independent Pilots Association over at UPS. She's a fatigue expert. She was an at-large representative, one of the strongest union people I know, and love her to death. Love her to death. She's so good to me. I just hope you don't get glasses and see what you really have here. But I don't know. Thank you. But really, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate your collaboration as we work to achieve our shared goal of advancing the safest, most secure air transportation system in the world. All right, now, I'd like to introduce ALPA's National Safety Coordinator and First Vice President, Captain Bob Fox. Bob, where are you, buddy? There you are. Bob, you want to say this? Nothing? All right, Bob leads our air safety organization. Let me tell you something. That man works 24/7. Are we a team? All the national officers that I'm about to introduce, we're a team. We're tight. I mean, we come together. Do we agree on everything? No. But the way we come to solutions, it's just been, I've been blessed to have a team like this. But he does such an extraordinary job. And you know he ran for president, right? And I'm going to tell you something. He made a damn great president. He's an awesome guy. And I'll tell you something else. All the officers that I share, with, they all have vice president next to their name for a reason, okay? And they're my co-presidents, really. That's the way we do things here. So, hey, unity, right? We do it. Unity. I love it. Very nice. All right. And I'd also like to introduce the two other elected leaders who comprise our union's national officer team. ALPA Vice President Administration Secretary, Captain Bill Couette, going on 16 years. 16 years. And also Captain, this is probably the nicest guy I think I've ever met. He's one of the just finest gentlemen, really a financial steward for our association, Captain Joseph Genovese, ALPA's Vice President, Finance Treasurer. Because of Joseph's prudence, he tightened up the budget so much when we saw COVID coming that we're in the best position we've ever been in the history of the Airline Pilots Association from a resource standpoint. Yep. And also, where's Tim Perry? Tim Perry, where are you? Tim Perry, please stand up. Please. Tim Perry. Captain Tim Perry is ALPA Canada President, one of the most dedicated and professional individuals that I've ever met. And he leads our Canadian pilots and attends to their needs very well, Tim. And you do such a great job. So thank you very much for all that you do and for being here to share. And we got Bob Fulton and others that we're paying a tribute to tonight. So we'll get into all that. And finally, let me introduce the one, the only, the greatest executive administrator the Airline Pilots Association has ever known, my executive administrator, Russ Galenka, Captain Russ Galenka. We're just doing introductions yet, folks. We're going to have some fun tonight, okay? I'm telling you, just stick with me, all right? Just stay with me. I won't steer you wrong. All right, so I'd also like to recognize all the spouses, right, and the partners and the significant others and other family members who makes it possible for ALPA pilot representatives to continue their work. And we sincerely appreciate you joining us tonight. So you better stand up when you do this. All right, to the spouses. All right. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Just to get somber for a moment, because finally we have to recognize, and we want to recognize, those who've charted the course for our industry, but who are no longer with us. And so I'd like you to please join me in a moment of silence for ALPA members and others who, in the aviation community, have flown west since we last were together at this event. I know some of them, so please. Thank you very much. So, listen, as we celebrate tonight's award honorees, I'd like to acknowledge ALPA's more than 66,000 pilots who fly for 41 airlines in Canada, United States, that are out there right now on the line. So, big round of applause for them, please. Every day, on every passenger and cargo flight, they carry with professionalism, the professionalism that you fuel too, ALPA's members' collective commitment to ensuring that North America remains the gold standard of aviation safety and security. That's what happens here. So tonight we will honor 12 award winner recipients. The pilots selected for these awards uphold our union's proud tradition of leadership, excellence, and service to others, because that's what it's about. It's all about service to others, something bigger than ourselves, right? That's what we're doing here. Now, may I ask Captain Bob Fox, ALPA's National Safety Coordinator and First Vice President, to come to the stage and assist in presenting ALPA's Aviation Jump Seat Awards. Bob? Now, Captain Rich Odbert, he's the chair of the Jump Seat Committee and a FedEx pilot, a dear friend of mine, can't be here today. So Bob is going to stand in for us tonight and help me present the awards. So thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. But anyway, so let's get started, okay? We're going to start with our first honoree. It is now my pleasure to recognize Captain Joseph Chance, on by air, at the 2019 Jump Seat Award. Through his work, Captain Chance has ensured that both ALPA and non-ALPA pilots have access to accurate jump seating policy information, and if you've ever sat on the other side from an uncooperative gate agent and needed to know what the code was or how to get in, you know, how to help them find out who you are, you need this information. It's very important. So in addition, by authoring ALPA's Jump Seat Etiquette video, which has been viewed online more than 30,000 times, Captain Chance developed an important new tool to help pilots learn jump seat rules. Captain Chance, will you please join us on stage? And oh, by the way, when I read that, it says that, but he's FedEx now. So it is my honor to recognize Joe Chance. Joseph Chance. You like Joe or Joseph? All right. I'm a Joe. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, with the 2019 Aviation Jump Seat Award for his outstanding contributions. Let's go over here and take a picture.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm very humbled to be receiving this award. A lot's happened, you know, obviously since 2019, both in my personal life and, you know, in the industry, of course. Obviously, when I got the award, or when I found out I was getting the award, I was at Envoy. So then I got hired by FedEx. I thought I'd be making more money, but that's not really true anymore, I don't think, with the Envoy deal, right? Okay. I used to jump seat every week to work. We moved a base to Memphis, but I still very much appreciate all the work that these guys do for the jump seat. It's just such a great privilege that we have as airline pilots, and the work that they do to protect the cockpit and the PIC authority is just so essential. So thank you to all the people that, that have helped with the jump seat. And finally, in my personal life, you know, when I got this award, it was just me and my wife, and then we got two beautiful baby girls. So that's why, you know, she's not able to be here tonight, but I just want to say that I really appreciate her, and I thank her for everything that she does. She's just such a great wife and such a loving mother, and I wish she was here, but she's at home with the girls. So. So obviously the industry's changed a lot in a post-COVID world, but one thing has not changed, and that is the amount of hiring and movement that's happening across all carriers. And there was nothing that was more meaningful for me than being a new hire at FedEx at the ALPA welcome dinner, and they showed that jump seat etiquette video. And it's just such a great teaching tool. It's going to be, you know, withstand the test of time. And really, there's so many people that need to be thanked for this. Rich Otbert, James Berzon, Ben Wallander did a lot of work on the video. Also, the ALPA comm staff. I mean, this video won an award as a short animated teaching tool. So, anyway, thank you so much. I'm humbled for this award, and I'm going to cherish it, and I really appreciate it. So, all right.
All right. Number one. All right. Number one. More to come. More to come. All right. All right. Now it is my distinct honor to present Captain Bob Spadia of United Airlines with the 2020 Aviation Jumpsuit Award. Come on up, Bob. Following 9/11, Captain Spadia worked with United Airlines management to implement the Cockpit Access Security System. He lobbied to create ALPA's National Jump Seat Committee, which was established in 2007. As ALPA's Aviation Jump Seat Vice Chairman, Captain Spadia helped pilots address jump seat issues during the pandemic and strongly supports captain's authority. Captain Spadia is also being honored with the 2019 Presidential Citation for his work to advance aviation jump seats, a two-time winner. All right, Captain Spadia, will you please join me here and say a few words, please?
I may take more than 5 minutes, I hope, but I think it's what I'm going to say is pretty relevant, so please indulge me if you could. Thank you very much, Captain DePete, for this honor. For those of you here this evening who are not familiar with the term jump seating, it is an additional observation seat installed on the flight deck. When not being occupied by the FAA inspector or a carrier's management personnel, it is made available to the line pilots of that carrier and other qualified and securely vetted pilots from a participating U.S. carrier. Its primary intent is to allow pilots an alternative method to travel to and from their flight assignments. It is a privilege granted by the pilot in command to the pilot requesting access to the flight deck. There is also an advantage for the PIC when granting this access. That advantage is that there being an extra set of eyes and ears to enhance flight deck security and an added level of security to protect the flight deck in the event of an attempted cockpit breach or cabin disturbance. The concept of jump seating began back in the mid-1980s, with it being a form of leisure travel on an infrequent basis. Over the past 2 decades, traveling via the jump seat has increased exponentially, and it has now evolved into an essential travel tool for thousands of pilots and an invaluable asset to enhance a pilot's quality of life. It carries them to and from their assignment, back home so they can attend events such as family sports events, personal celebrations, dance recitals, holiday celebrations, and unfortunately, bereavements. It has also delivered pilots back to their homes from outstations when a carrier has suspended or ceased flight operations. Many pilots covet this value of jump seating and place it on par with negotiated benefits that are addressed in collective bargaining agreements. So with that, I would ask those MEC chairs, MEC leaderships who are now or soon will be engaging in collective bargaining agreements when seeking ways to improve their pilots' quality of life with regards to jump seating. I ask that you consult their jump seat committees and seek out their input and recommendations regarding this important item. They truly are the eyes and ears of the jump seat industry and an invaluable SME asset. I would like to thank the following people for making this award possible: and for following you over the years as a Jump Seat Committee Chairman at the MEC and national level. Captain Joe DePete. Thank you. During your tenure as ALPA Vice President, you and we discussed this earlier, but I want to make sure the whole public forum here realizes this. You, Rich Albert, James Berzon, and myself were seated at an SOAC dinner in Herndon. You asked us, when you were National Safety Chairman, National Safety Coordinator, excuse me, and you asked us what we needed to make our job more effective for our pilots. You listened to our requests, and the outcome has produced, I think, a very effective ASO Jump Seat Committee. Thank you very much for your support to our committee. We really do appreciate it. You're valuable, and we thank you very much for that, sir. Okay. Captain Bob Fox, thank you for your unwavering support for our committee over the past 4 years. Okay. Whenever we needed assistance and guidance, you have never failed to answer the call, and we cannot begin to thank you enough for your oversight for our group. You'll never know how much we appreciate what you've done for us, honest to God. Captain Joe Genovese. Bet you wonder why I'm asking you. I'm recognizing you. Thank you for your composure when reviewing my expense reports that pushed the envelope. You have told me on 1 or 2 occasions that I am trying to move the goalpost a little bit further down the field. So thank you for your understanding and putting up with my reports. To my United MEC, thank you for all your MEC officers. Thank you for all the MEC officers whom I have served under, to include Captain Bob Fox, when he was a UAL MEC Vice Chairman. Okay, for the past 20 years. Your support of me as an MEC Chairman and at the national level are very much appreciated, and I thank you for your confidence in my abilities. Okay, and lastly, to my wife, Julie, my daughter, Stephanie, and my Nicholas. Well, first of all, I would like to acknowledge tonight that this is my wife's birthday today, September 15th. Okay.
I had that here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you. It is an unspecified anniversary of her 29th birthday, excuse me. You know, I learned that years ago when I was talking with celebrating birthdays with flight attendants, and they would say, I'm only 29. So, and if I say anything older than that, I would get a slap in the back of my head. So, so anyway, and I don't have the clearance to tell you how many years there are, so I'll keep it at that. So happy birthday, my love, and I hope you enjoy your night tonight. Okay. So thanks to the three of you for your understanding and support of my volunteer work and the times I was away from home when you needed me to be there. Okay. Thank you for putting up with the interruptions during dinner hour, social events, holiday celebrations, and family vacations. I think we as ALPA volunteers can relate to that. I mean, how many times have we all taken phone calls during events and so on and so forth, because I think we're a dedicated group of individuals, and you know, we love our families, but we still have a duty to our constituents. So thank you very much for putting up with that. Okay, and so thank you for putting up with these as ALPA volunteers, we can certainly relate to that. So during some of these instances, the kids and some of our our friends would ask who I was talking to. And many times her response would them to be, well, he's probably talking to his girlfriend. So I just want you to know, any of you who are on the receiving end of that call, you were referred to as the other woman in my life. So I'd like to thank all whom I have interacted with over the years, and your recognition for me receiving this prestigious award. It is an honor and a privilege to be associated with such an outstanding group of professionals and volunteers. I thank you very much, and I'll cherish this moment always. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all your work.
Anyway. All right, I'd like to now honor Captain A.J. Berlotti, who flies for Alaska Airlines with the ALPA 2021 Aviation Jump Seat Award. Come on up here. Please join me on stage. Since 2019, Captain Berlotti led the council through the many challenges posed by the pandemic, including multiple tests of pilot and command authority, because we got some challenges, didn't we? Yep. Throughout COVID-19, Captain Berlotti enhanced communication and coordination among the Jump Seat group members and ensured the council carried out its work in unity. And it is my sincere pleasure to recognize Alaska Airlines Captain A.J. Berlotti with the 2021 Aviation Jump Seat Award for his outstanding contributions. Would you please like to say a few words?
Well, I do suppose it's fitting that Jump Seat is going first tonight, since we're usually the first to any party. There's a saying among ALPA volunteers that we never actually started our past doing ALPA work as volunteers. We were voluntold. The stories are always familiar. You're on a layover somewhere, having dinner with your flying partner, doing what we do naturally as pilots, complaining. And the response is always the same. Well, what are you going to do about it? And this is how my past started 16 years ago. If you ask any ALPA volunteer why they do what they do, particularly those ASO volunteers with us tonight, the answer is always the same: to help our fellow pilots. The hard work, the dedication, long hours, and the time away from our families is a privilege for us to do what we do. For me to be included with these great people who are far smarter than I is humbling and truly an honor. Thank you. The events of September 11th, 2001 changed the way that we do business in this industry, particularly regarding flight deck access and the challenges to PIC authority. For those of us that relied on the flight deck jump seat to get to and from work during these times, the loss of this access to the flight deck jump seat was devastating. It was with this in mind that 5 very dedicated individuals with the backing of ALPA leadership began the work developing the policies and procedures that now make up the ASO Aviation Jump Seat Committee, most of whom are previous award winners. Starting as a small, informal jump seat task force and growing into the NJC, and finally into our current structure, everything we do is driven by one primary objective: ensuring the PIC maintains control over flight deck access and the use of the jump seat. The flight deck jump seat is truly one of the last few benefits that we all enjoy. It is a privilege, not a right. As we like to say, we are one event away from losing it. I'd like to close out by thanking a few people who have allowed me the opportunity to continue working on behalf of not only ALPA pilots, but our brothers and sisters across the industry. I'd like to thank the ALPA staff. They worked tirelessly behind the scenes to support the work that we do day in and day out. I'd like to thank Captains Joe DePete and Bob Fox for their vision, support, and dedication to not just the Air Safety Organization, but more specifically to the work that we do in Jump Seat. Without their full backing, our paths as pillars of the ASO would have been much tougher, if not impossible. I'd like to thank Captains Rich Odbert, Bob Spadia, and James Burzon. Learning from these three gentlemen who started the jump seat program at Alpa National has been an invaluable asset for me. Thank you for trusting in me to continue to take on more challenges, for being great friends, and most importantly, for educating me on the finest whiskeys, smoothest cigars, and the best boats to own. I'd like to thank the fantastic jump seat volunteers from across the industry that I am honored to work with, many of whom are sitting at these two tables over there. Thanks, guys and girls. Thank you. And last but not least, I would like to thank my daughter, Beth. She's been coming to these events with me since she was 11 years old and holds the title of unofficial jump seat mascot. For me, between flying a full schedule, Alpa work, and the other things that life presents, she has always been right there with me. She is not only my daughter, she's my best friend and the best hockey date anyone could ask for. Thank you for being you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, now we're going to do a presentation, some Aviation Pilot Assistance Awards, okay? You know, the Pilot Assistance Awards, they define that promise of, judging the character of an organization by the way it comes to its members in need. So we're going to recognize these folks who have to fly under the radar by the very nature of the work that they do, because like I said earlier, if you're talking to somebody from Pilot Assistance, it's probably not your best day, right? But it is your best day in the sense that you will have a team of people that are second to none, data-driven, scientifically trained people to help you through whatever adversity that you're going through. So let's get started. Please let me invite First Officer John Taylor, ALPA Pilot Assistance Group Chair, to the stage as we present ALPA's Pilot Assistance Awards for 2019. 2020, and 2021. Gonna give me a hand, John. Appreciate your assistance, sir. John's done an incredible job as chairman, by the way. He's just, talk about a dedication. Just doesn't end. All right, here's a great, okay? This is a great. From north of the border, it's my privilege to present Jazz Aviation Captain Murray Monroe with the 2019 Pilot Assistance Award. Come on up. Captain Monroe helped establish the Pilot Wellness Program at Jazz Aviation. He's led the Critical Incidents Response Program effort for multiple airline accidents, as well as an attempting hijacking, and shared his knowledge with the global piloting community. Captain Monroe, will you please join me here at the podium and say a few words, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Captain DePete, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests and colleagues. I had to jot a few things down here because I know if my nerves don't get me, my emotions will. I'm so very honored to be here tonight on so many levels. You have no idea. My mom couldn't be here tonight. Told you. My mom's 85 years old. And she's watching this via live streaming with a friend of hers that helped her set it all up. Love you, Mom. And as I said, if the nerves don't get me, the emotions will. I'm not one for public speaking unless I have a microphone, a locked cockpit door, and a captive audience. So here goes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Bonjour et mesdames, ici votre commandant. It's been an amazing journey working with pilot assistants and some of the great, wonderful people that I've had a chance to meet over the past 30 years. I have to start by thanking Captain David Noble, my mentor, my friend, my confidant. David, you took a young, naive pilot under your wing, and you guided me through this whole journey. You've taught me so much over the years, and when I got in over my head, you were there to lend a hand and show me the way out. You were there to remind me that pilot assistance is a program of the pilots, by the pilots, for the pilots. David, I'll be forever grateful. I also have to thank ALPA, Tim Perry, Rod Lipchuk, and the Canada Board for their phenomenal support over the years. They've just been absolutely amazing support, and they get it. They know what pilot assistance is all about. Claude Brigalia and the Jazz MEC, fantastic. Your support as well has just been phenomenal. Thank you to Steve Linthwaite and Cal Purves and our Jazz Management Flight Ops team. You guys, same thing. Your support has been unparalleled. When I talk to my colleagues about pilot assistance, they can't believe the support that I have from all you folks. Eileen Maloney-White. Eileen Maloney-White, your dedication and support for our pilot group has been above and beyond all expectations. Thank you, Eileen. I'd also like to thank folks like Jeff Kilmer, Jerry McDermott, Louise Cullinan. Your leadership and dedication to the pilots is as well just phenomenal. And as my predecessor here mentioned, the ALPA staff, you guys, you also go above and beyond. This program works because it's peer-based and it's confidential. It's difficult to truly understand just how valuable it is until you need it. And we have critical incident stress response, we have HIMSS, we have ProStans, we have Aeromed, and this program goes way beyond those with the support that this program gives to the pilots that are actually in need. And take me, for example, 2019, November 2019, I ended up in hospital, had stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma. I wasn't expected to survive the weekend. Pilot assistance was there for me in a huge way. They filed the paperwork with the insurance company and the company because I was unable to do it. They made sure my mom was looked after. They sent care packages to the hospital and my home. And when I was still in the hospital by Christmas, they showed up and they decorated my room with Christmas lights and Christmas things and, you know, just all these things. The nurses couldn't believe what kind gestures they were. They said they'd never seen the likes of it. And that was our pilot assistance team. When I returned home and continued my chemo as an outpatient, I always knew I had a reliable ride to the hospital and that I had somebody there with me at those appointments. Thank you again, Tom, Marissa, Jacques. And the entire pilot assistance team. You guys, you really pulled me through. As well, you know, folks like Jim Tracy at JetBlue, and without your support, it would have been infinitely more difficult to get through that. Your friendship and guidance over the years means the world to me. My wish for the future, I wish this program to continue, evolve, and to flourish. I hope this program continues saving careers, continues saving families, and continues saving lives. There's some very, very good friends of mine here in the room tonight. Some of them are just getting into the pilot assistance world. Going to follow in my footsteps, and I hope you guys do well. I'll get through this. Graham and Alex, carry on the legacy. Thank you.
Okay, it is now my privilege to honor Captain Travis Ludwig with the ALPA 2020 Pilot Assistance Award. Woo! I gotta get serious for a second. So proud of you, man. It's just everything that you do. During the pandemic, Captain Ludwig represented ALPA in RTCA work on flight deck and cabin cleaning and engaged in our COVID-19 education and safety risk analysis efforts. And if you remember how challenging that was, right, Sarah? I mean, every airline was doing it different. No one knew who was doing what. It was a whole patchwork of different approaches that people were taking as they tried to figure out how to clean these cabins. But, he assisted as ALPA's subject matter expert at his airline as it reopened international operations and served as ALPA's Pilot Assistance Group vice chairman as well. Captain Ludwig, please take the podium and say a few words, if you would, please.
The pandemic was hard for all of us. It was tough on all of us. And I think, being pilot assistants in the glass half full, I think it really was a great showing for our union how we all came together. It was no longer just pilot assistance. It was safety and training. We all had to come together to solve a very large problem that nobody had a solution to. I'll have to steal one of John Taylor's famous lines, which is, he doesn't see sandboxes. He sees a beach, and that was one of the largest pieces of sand that rolled across any of our beach boxes in a long time, and it was scary. We all pulled together, and I was really proud of it. But I couldn't have done it without a lot of help. I feel a bit like an imposter. I had a lot of volunteers to help me, a lot of knowledge that was not my own that I got to have access to via this union, and it was a wonderful thing. I have a very good mentorship, Ben Kalem, well known for his lengthy briefing, so if I could just get up my 300-page PowerPoint up here, I'll just take a few minutes of your time. No, it's a wonderful thing that we're all here. We're all one big family, and I can't say enough about the leadership I had at the MEC level to really help me out when I needed help. All of my volunteers, John and his excellent knowledge base, I couldn't have done it without him. So I'm just here really as a figurehead to a larger institution, and that makes me proud. I will lastly say to my wife, thank you so much for all the dinners that I missed, the phone calls I had to take. While everybody else was home, I had a 40-hour job on Zoom, and I appreciate your patience for that. So I'll keep it short. Thanks, guys.
Now it gives me great pleasure to recognize Captain John McFadden with ALPA's 2021 Pilot Assistance Award. Look, as ALPA's Critical Incidents Response Program Chair since 2019, Captain McFadden's leadership during the pandemic raised the program profile to a whole new level. Captain McFadden advanced CIRP during interactions with regulators and airlines, as well as internationally, with the goal of ensuring our union CIRP served as the gold standard, plain and simple. You know, I said this before we had a little reception, and with all the award winners past and present. Pilots are hard on themselves, you know? We can be pretty hard on ourselves. So when something like bending metal happens, it's a pretty tense experience. And it really takes a trained professional, right? Debriefings that go through debriefings and diffusings. And it's science. There's nothing touchy-feely here. It's science to understand how you can walk into another person's pain that's going through something like that. So, but it sure is nice to know you're there if we need you, you know. I've heard people say after they've been through that experience that all of a sudden, you know, they're just so shocked by what has just happened, you know, from a professional standpoint, right? They're looking at themselves going, what happened here, right? And then, of course, the families, right? The families as well. And to have people just come out of the woodwork and just take care of things for you, right? Protect you, get you away, get you in a hotel, take care of you. But it's just an incredible service to our pilots. So if you please join me at the podium and say a few words. John, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. I promise to be brief. I'm guessing that there's a lot of folks out there, especially Ellen, John, Candace, they're trying to figure out how I actually got here on time, because apparently I've discovered that I'm time zone challenged. If I had a nickel for every time that I showed up an hour after the Zoom call was over or Teams call, then I'd probably be a very wealthy person. In all seriousness, this is very humbling. Just 3 points. Thanks for the incredible work for my fellow PA leaders and the support of the national officers, Joe and Bob, along with John, Travis, Ellen, Carrie, Tyler, really everybody, along with my MEC at United. They've helped me and taught me more than I can possibly describe. Their passion and vision for creating a comprehensive and integrated group of committees has really benefited all pilots. John Taylor's leadership and wisdom is very inspiring. While I'm humbled and blessed to stand here and accept this honor, the folks who really deserve it and all the accolades and the credit for the success of the CRP program are the individual CRP chairs and their teams. That was certainly validated during the acceptance speech the other evening when we heard from the Superior Airmanship Award winner, Captain Stevenson, Tuesday night. Lastly, my amazing and beautiful wife, Patty, and my 3 great kids, John, Megan, and my brand new son-in-law, Ethan, along with my mom, rest her soul, my dad and his wonderful wife, Joyce, have been so supportive and encouraging as I've missed out on so many events over the years. I'm forever grateful and indebted to each of them for their patience and their understanding. I love you all dearly. God bless you and thank you.
All right, moving on to security, all right? We're gonna do some security. Please allow me to now invite Captain Wolfgang Koch, our ALPA's Aviation Security Chairman, to the stage as we present ALPA's Aviation Security Awards for 2019, 2020, and 2021. Would you please come up? Oh, whoa. Security guys, man, they sneak up on you. and you know they're packing. I mean, come on. He's got like his ghillie suit on. I can't see him. You don't know what a ghillie suit is, do you? If you're a Marine, you know what it is. All right. Look, I know this man. He took me under his wing, too. It's my privilege to honor Captain Ali Froelich, who flies for Delta Airlines for the ALPA 2019 Aviation Security Award. Come on up. As ALPA's Department of Defense and Secret Service liaison, Captain Froelich facilitated regular communication among ALPA, airline flight operations, and military leaders, and I mean he knew military leaders, who oversaw military protection of U.S. airspace. The enhanced communication that he provided with these teams allowed ALPA to create greater support for its recommendations and a constructive channel to address prohibited airspace issues. Please join me, Captain Froelich, and please say a few words for the team here. Blake.
Thank you, Captain DePete. I promise I'll keep it short as we have a number of award presentations remaining this evening, and congratulations to all my fellow award winners. First off, thank you. Thank you to Captain Bob Fox and to our entire engineering and air safety staff just for all the support they give to all our various committees. I'd also like to take the time to especially thank our government affairs folks for their advocacy by raising important issues of aviation safety and security to our legislators, various decision makers, and the traveling public. Without them, we would truly not have the voice that we have, so thank you. It truly takes a team. It's a team effort. Speaking of teams, a very special thanks to our security committee and especially to our chairman and my friend, Captain Wolfgang Koch. Wolfgang has demonstrated exceptional leadership and tireless work in fighting what sometimes seems to be unwinnable battles on occasion with some of our fellow aviation stakeholders. Our collaboration with various federal agencies, to include the military and intelligence community, is vital if we're to continue to make security improvements as we go along and move forward. Now more than ever, it's important that the pilot's perspective and voice is heard, using our shared knowledge and experience to address the many security challenges that we face daily. When we engage with legislators and other aviation stakeholders, we come to the table with a different perspective. And we come to the table with valued, respected, and sometimes even envied street cred, as you will, as we identify issues and then champion solutions. Those that we interact with know, but trust me, sometimes they absolutely must be reminded that we speak from a fact-based and objective perspective, not what is it going to cost my bottom line? What is it going to cost us? Our sole focus is to improve our collective safety and security while operating in the air domain of not just North America, but our entire planet. I look forward to continuing to work with stakeholders and to promote and advocate for improvements and necessary changes in aviation security. I want to thank those of you here that I have worked with in the past and hope to continue fighting the good fight right alongside you. But please make no mistake, the threat is still omnipresent. And our industry and an attack on it is their holy grail. We must be ever vigilant, and we must never, ever forget. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my lovely wife and my best friend, Sarah, for all her love and support during all these years of being on the road or working on projects at home or in between trips while flying the line, or that occasional call that I couldn't catch and she runs and I can't take the call right now, honey. She goes, "It's the Secret Service." Thank you. You have been my rock, and you always will be. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Now it's my privilege to honor United Airlines Captain Steve Curry with the ALPA's 2020 Aviation Security Award. Captain Curry is ALPA's subject matter expert on law enforcement and represents our pilots before federal agencies and security stakeholders. He has strengthened our relationships through increased communication. In addition, Captain Curry has engaged with ALPA's known crew member task force with the goals of addressing inconsistencies and advancing the program's efficiency, something really we need to keep doing, right? And it's such a benefit for our crew members, and we really appreciate. I mean, like I said, all pilots are trying to do is get to work, right? And you smoothing out some of those bumps for us is much appreciated by our line pilots. So, Captain Curry, if you would join us over here, and please say a few words. Thank you.
Thanks, Captain DePete, and of course, Wolfgang, for all the support over many, many years. I got involved in the security thing 2001. You know, I was a union guy doing other work. Security was not on my radar, and 2001 was really where it all came to a head. And you know, it didn't take but a mere 2 weeks after 9/11 to lose my first officer seat in the 737, and it kind of hit home that, you know, hey, this is a big deal, and it's something that will continue to be a problem going forward, and so that's kind of been my motivation and all of the ALPA work I've done going forward. And you know, I think when we look at security, what it means, and every facet of the job we do. And my wife being a flight attendant, it very much, I don't have to be reminded of how close to home it hits, because we're an airline family, and God bless her, it wouldn't be possible without her. But you know, we all face these threats in aviation, and that's what's called me to serve, and that's what continues to call me to serve. We're not done with the work we've got to do, and you know, there's going to be continuous challenges going forward, and I think that continuing the advancement of our goals is what it's all about. And so I'm very humbled to be here, and I'm certainly glad to carry the torch for ALPA and for my airline, and hopefully we can continue to make advancements that we need. So thank you very much.
All right. I'm now privileged to honor Spirit Airlines Captain Gregory Marion with ALPA's 2021 Aviation Security Award. Would you please come down, Captain Gregory? In 2019, when the Transportation Security Administration transitioned to the unpredictable screening process for the known crew member program. How to get that in. Captain, yeah, right. Yeah, we've all been there. Captain Marion cataloged ALPA pilots' feedback on entering access points under the new system. As a result of working with the TSA to address implementation issues, he's also improved ALPA's crew members' experience by providing that data, and we really appreciate that. Once again, making life a little bit easier for the flight crews that are just trying to get to the airplane and get to destination and get home safely. So, but we appreciate all that, and if you would join us here at the podium and say a few words, we'd be honored. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Joe for the recognition. I also want to congratulate Joe on his ability to break out of that shell and just to be able to open up and share his words with us. So, thanks, Joe, for all you've done. I'd like to start by thanking my security committee, who's supporting me in the back row, the Spirit Airlines MEC for all their support. I'd like to thank Wolfgang, Darren, and Eric for their support in the nomination. The amount of work that these guys do, I mean, he looks good holding that right now, but this guy works his ass off. So how about something for little Darren? Yeah. And Darren Dorn, and these guys, I mean, I'm humbled by the amount of work that they do, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. I'd like to thank the Spirit MEC for their support, and I'd especially like to thank all the Spirit Airline pilots for all the continued motivation that they give me by their daily reports of their happiness with the KCM USP selection. So let's give her a round for that. Thank you. I'd also like to thank all the ALPA staff off on the sides that are doing all the work that doesn't get noticed. Petra, Zylene, people like Rick Hassel has been out there working their butts off for years and years and don't get the recognition. We appreciate all that you do. You don't see the awards. People like Jeff Perrin, who's out there working for years and years. And there's only so many awards to go around, but these people are out there busting their butts every day. So I think we owe a round of applause to all these people who don't get the awards. Come on, stand up. Yeah. I'm honored to receive this award, but for so many people that have worked before me and the people that work after me that have just put in such a commitment, and it's really quite an honor to be working alongside them. I'd also like to thank my family for all of the support that I've given, my parents, my in-laws, for all the support they've given me for the times I wasn't there, as you all know, filling in for us. For my kids, Nicholas and Natalie, all the baseball games and swim meets that I missed, especially for my wife, for all the hardships that she's endured, for the sick kids, the doctor visits, the flooded basements, the broken dishwashers, that all these things happen while we're gone, of course. So I'd like to raise a toast for all the spouses, for all the commitment, and for keeping the home fires burning. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Now we're going to do presentations of the Aviation Safety Awards. Aviation safety. All right. Please allow me now to invite Captain Frank Pizzonia, ALPA's Aviation Safety Chairman, to the stage as we present ALPA's Aviation Safety Awards for 2019, 2020, and 2021. All right. It gives me great pleasure, distinct pleasure, particularly as a FedEx pilot, to recognize FedEx Express Captain Scott Schwartz with the ALPA 2019 Aviation Safety Award. Woo! As ALPA's subject matter expert on dangerous goods and hazardous materials, Captain Schwartz influences U.S., Canadian, and international policy regarding transporting dangerous goods by air. Hugely important work being done in that area. A chemical engineer by training, which you will pick up on in your first 2 minutes of talking to him. If you can understand what the heck he's saying, let me know, okay? Because it will water your eyes. He's a globally recognized expert in these areas and has a fundamental understanding of the issue. He's promoted ALPA's position on transportation of lithium batteries in all cargo operations and passengers carriage of portable electronic devices. I will stop now and allow you to say a few words because you're the one that's being honored here. So please come on over, brother, and say a few words. And thank you for all that you do.
I'd like to talk to some of the younger pilots here tonight, though. You're young, bright, energetic, and you're now part of an organization that has the people and resources to help you make a difference. I think everybody in the back knows, and some people in the front, that flying cargo is very satisfying. COVID has highlighted that what we deliver helps keep people alive, safe, employed, and happy. But while I enjoy delivering the goods, I also want to improve the way goods are delivered. And ALPA safety work is the ideal way to do that. So here's some advice I wish I'd received when I was a new hire 33 years ago. Don't be shy. There's plenty to do. You're already an aviation safety expert, and you'll develop the additional expertise just by doing the work. Question the status quo. Parts of our system were made for DC-3s, not 747s. Remember, if pilots are not involved when the rules are made, people that do not understand how we do and what we do, how we do it and what we do will speak for us. Follow the safety trail. It can lead you to some unexpected places. My field is dangerous goods, but some of the most important work I've done has had implications in flight operations, airworthiness, and even jump seating. It can take time and persistence to convince the world that a problem exists, let alone that a pilot can provide a solution. The aviation system has a lot of inertia, but that inertia is not infinite. We are lucky at ALPA to be surrounded by the best and brightest aviators in the world. And the most important advice I have to you is very simple. Get to know them. It starts with the president, Joe DePete, he's hiding back there, who as first vice president made the Air Safety Organization a top priority. The work of Joe, Bob Fox, Russ Skalenka, and the rest of the team and others in getting support for our airlines during the COVID pandemic has saved airlines, lives, careers, and families. But they've done a lot more than that, as you've heard tonight. So get to know them and ask them about it. Go meet Steve Jangelis and Rich Huey, two of the smartest and most dedicated safety professionals in the world. Or Jeff Mee and Jeff Perrin, who are responsible for keeping my work. I don't have to tell you what they didn't do. Or Mark Rogers, from whom I learned more about dangerous goods than anybody else. Or retired pilots like the previous, and old Accident Investigation Board Chair Mike Bender, he's been mentioned tonight. He still attends the safety forum. I don't have time to mention a small fraction of the people I need to. There are hundreds of MEC officers, committee chairs, safety volunteers with unique talents here at ALPA, like biomedical engineer and FedEx pilot Dr. Jim Perry. They all have something to share. Go out and meet them. Engage with the Legion of Public Servants working at regulatory agencies who are dedicated to improving flight safety, like FAA fire expert Dick Hill or retired hazmat safety expert Janet McLaughlin, or Dr. Catherine Rooney or Lynn McGuigan from the International Civil Aviation Organization. You probably don't know or have never even heard of these people, but our world is safer because of their work. Get to know our ALPA staff, Elizabeth Baker in Government Affairs and Chad Ballantyne in Engineering. And Chad Ballantyne in Engineering and Air Service are just again, they're only two of an army that provides critical support to our work. And Mark Faniff is a very special person who's worked tirelessly through family and personal hardship as an indispensable part of our team, and I cannot thank him enough. It's been an honor. It's been an honor and a pleasure and a privilege working with him. And I'm also surrounded at home with people that are spending their lives making the world a better place. My marvelous daughter, Lindsay, served in the Peace Corps in the highlands of Tanzania. And now with a fresh master's degree from Emory University in Public Health, she will be a Fulbright Fellow conducting research on the relationship between water quality and women's health in Kenya next year. My equally accomplished son, Alex, has always had an interest in sustainable urban development, and with his master's degree in public policy from Leiden University in the Netherlands, is working to enhance livability and quality of life in our urban communities as a city planner. And finally, my wonderful wife, Diane, very capably adapted to being the spouse of an airline pilot and an ALPA safety volunteer, and I think others have kind of mentioned the same concept before. So you all know what that means. She keeps the household running while I'm away flying and even when I'm home recovering. She was always there nurturing our children's civic and leadership skills. She's worked with Boy and Girl Scouting in all levels, and that work continues today at the highest levels of International Girl Scouting. She mentors older students as a board member for College Alumni Association. With a doctorate in microbiology, she serves others even at work as the world's foremost expert on renewable natural gas quality. Her standards are used worldwide to keep our homes and our workplaces safe from toxins and infectious substances. So to my family, all of the rest of you, and the many people that I haven't had time to name who've given us support and who advance flight safety, thank you very much. It all makes a difference.
The stuff you learn at these places, right? I didn't know all that. All right. incredible. Okay, this one's extremely special to me because, as well as them all, I mean. But this gentleman I got to meet from the Jazz MEC chairman, Carla Barelia, and he is this individual is just an extraordinary individual. He's on the Action Investigation Team, and so I'd like to honor Jazz Aviation Captain Bob Fulton with ALPA's 2020 Aviation Safety Bob Fulton has worked multiple airline incidents and accidents and helped update ALPA's accident investigation training courses. He has served on ALPA's Accident Investigation Board and on the ICAO Flight Data Recorders Working Group. Captain Fulton's work, which includes co-creating his pilot group's Flight Time Duty Time Committee, has advanced accident prevention. Captain Fulton, will you grace us and come over and say a few words? It's a great honor. Thank you. He gets out the cards and he says, "This is old school." I say, "I do that all the time. That's all I know." Can't do that fancy stuff on this computer.
All I can say is wow. But it was my understanding that Joe was going to allocate 2 minutes for every year of service. I've got 52 minutes. However, I came to realize that as a Canadian, he thought that I needed the extra time to get through the alphabet. He figured I'd get stuck on A. Thank you, Captain DePete, for such a wonderful introduction. I am very honored and humbled. It gives me great pleasure to accept this award on behalf of all of our 66,000 members. I waited for a while to say this, but to paraphrase Captain DePete, ALPA would only be a lobbying and labor union if it was not for the Air Safety Organization. Amen. That is your quote. Over the last couple of years have been very, well, arguably ranked the toughest in recent aviation history. I saw a coffee mug recently, and it read like this. On one side, it had F.K, 2020, and that was slashed out. 2021 was written in. On the other side, it said 2019, avoid negative people. 2020, avoid positive people. 2021, avoid people. So thankfully, 2022 has brought us all back together. Those who know me, they know that I can be a bit of a virus, persistent, and I won't go away. So it's kind of appropriate to get the 2020 award. I've always looked at my role in the ASO like a tiny piece of one link of a 91-year young slinky. The strength and unity of ALPA's eyes, ASO, from both sides of the border, they form a link of that slinky. That is one link we don't want to break. Look around the room. You all deserve recognition for your dedication. Keep in mind, with dedication comes support. Support brings opportunity, which will, if you pursue it further, bring a mentorship. And there's a lot written in the ALPA magazines this year about mentors. We need mentors. The industry needs mentors. So a heartfelt thank you is a small gesture to you, your spouses, partners, children, family, and friends who support your dedication. For me, my wife Jean is the definition of dedication. Along with our 3 children, Leah, who is here tonight, Carrie and Tyler were unable to attend because of school commitments. They are my support network. Thank you, Jean. I love you all. Been waiting to say this for a long, long time. This annual event doesn't just appear. Dedicated staff, and they are our support and have worked tirelessly for our opportunity to allow ALPA I to host such a world-class event. Thank you for your support, dedication, and the opportunity for the volunteers here, now, past, and in the future. Petra. And Pam. The 2 of you have been the super glue that has helped keep me together. I've had a lot of opportunity over the years with TSB, Transport Safety Board of Canada, and the National Transport Safety Board here in the United States. I want to say a personal thank you for their support. It's been a real pleasure to work with these independent government entities. Captain Linthwaite, you and Captain Purves, I want to thank you for the roles in the ALPA Jazz Safety Partnership. Along with Captain Nick Seymour, our partnership is a model for others. Captain Braglia, as a volunteer, co-worker, and most of all, a friend, I would like to give you, your MEC and LECs, both past and present, a very sincere thank you. You've always been supportive to me and my family and all Canadian members. Thank you for your support in safety and accident investigation. A heartfelt thank you to the past and present Canada Board executives, Captain Perry, current president, Captain Lipchuk, current vice president, Dan Adamus, Captain Dan Adamus, past president, and Captain Brian Shurey. You, alongside Captain Bralia, have set the bar very high. During all of the hurdles, your support has been unwavered. It's not possible without your dedication and support. I've also had the opportunity to work with IFALPA, thanks to both Claude and the Canada Board as well. And I'd like to thank IFALPA's past and current presidents and chairpersons, and notably Captain Arnaud Dubedat. He's the IFALPA AEP Staff Technical Director. Joe, along with past and current national officers, Joe, Bob, Bill, The Rock. He's been around for a long time, been a good friend. Joseph, Russ, Tim, and Ryan, Rod and Ryan. You represent 66,000 plus members at our airlines. I am one of them. Your dedication and support and opportunities have made this past 26 years a pleasure, a pleasure for me to serve our membership on your behalf. For myself and my family, a sincere thank you. I talked about Jane. Jane is a former flight attendant. She got injured in 2010 in a turbulence accident and broke her neck. Been off 5 years, then they retrained her. One evening, my parents had passed away, left a cedar chest, had it redone, put it at the foot of the bed, phone rings. Phone rang all hours of the night for 26 years. Jane flies out of bed, rips around the backside of the bed at the foot, bang, nails that cedar chest. And then if you know me, I do a lot of collecting. It's about 300 pounds. She hits it with her knees, drives it 2.5 feet across the floor, jumps over top of it, picks up the phone. Hello. Well, it's look for Robert Fulton. It's Alpa. 2 hours on the phone with me, or for me rather. 2 hours with ice packs for Jane. And bruises for 2 weeks. That's dedication. So I want to thank you all. God bless, fly safe, and as we say, keep your stick on the ice.
All right. Okay, another great coming up here momentarily here. Now it's a real true honor to now present Delta Airlines Captain Dan Coogan with ALPA's 2021 Aviation Safety Award. Dan, come on up, Danny. Dan Coogan. Wow. All right. You know, we had one of the panels on the data today, the data collection efforts. And, you know, just before I start reading here, Dan, I got to say a few things. You know that, right? I just got to. I've known you for so long. And, you know, as a voluntary safety reporting program advocate, Dan was instrumental in creating Crosstalk. I don't know if you know what Crosstalk is, but we talked about today on that on the panel. I think that was today, and it was data action reports, right? The safety action reports, and how you don't cross the streams between, say, the programs like ASAP and FOQA. Well, and then they talked about the importance of trust, right, with these voluntary safety action programs. Well, Dan figured that out. Along with some of the people he served with, and they created Crosstalk, which fuses data together to give a clear picture of what actually is taking place out there. So, Dan, that's an incredible achievement. Yep. And, you know, just thank you for that effort, because the safety level of safety in our country today would not exist without these programs. No doubt about it, right? I mean, it took us here. But your efforts to fuse, say, ASAP and FOCA together has really been a game changer. So He represented ALPA during National Transportation Safety Board investigations and worked with multiple airlines to ensure the reporting program success. So he shares this knowledge with all of us at National. So if you'd please, Dan, would you please come here and share some of your thoughts and honor us, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. It's a great honor to accept this award. As pilots and safety volunteers, we are often asked, is flying safe? As wise gentlemen have said, there is nothing safe about loading people into a pressurized aluminum tube, sending it 6 miles into the sky, and propel it along by lighting gasoline on fire. But as we return to our homes tomorrow across the country and across the world, or return to our flight decks, we do so knowing that the flying public is riding on our aircraft and not really giving a second thought to flying across the country, across the world. But it hasn't always been like that. I would like to take a moment and imagine 90 years ago, September 1932, and you were going out to Washington National to board that aircraft for your home or maybe going to your flight assignment. The aircraft and the air transportation at that time, flying was uncomfortable. Aircraft flew in the weather, in turbulence. The aircraft themselves were unreliable, and systems and aircraft engines were prone to catastrophic failures. The Airline Pilots Association had just come into existence, and those early aviation safety volunteers rolled up their sleeves and began to tackle the challenges to make flying safer. We cannot forget their dedication, nor the dedication of the thousands of fellow safety volunteers over the years who have made the United States air transportation system the safest mode of transportation in the country. Those of us who have followed in the footsteps of those early aviation safety volunteers should be proud to join their ranks of a long line of volunteers. I am especially pleased to have worked with some of the greatest volunteers at Delta Airlines as well as across the entire ALPA spectrum. As the director of the Safety Information Analysis Programs, I have worked with a number of your MEC safety chairmen, as well as your ASAP and FOCA programs, to ensure that your programs are as safe as can be. One of the things early this week we stressed is each organization needs to have a strong safety culture, and we stress the fact that the safety culture needs to begin at the top, and I thank Captain Joe DePete for making ALPA that person. He speaks safety and ensures that our entire organization, safety is our main and primary focus. Thank you, Joe. I accept this award, but as we all know, safety is not an individual sport, but a team sport. And there are so many people that I am thankful to have worked with, especially at Delta Airlines. Captain Scott Hammond, who has truly been a mentor to me, and knowing him and working with him has been one of the greatest experiences of my aviation career. Captain Elena Cunningham, who I first met when we attended AI2 on a blustery, cold, miserable May day in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Helena is not only a colleague, a fellow pilot, but also a great friend. And for a time, she was my college professor when I was working on a master's in aviation safety. Also, I'd like to thank Captain Steve Jangelis, for his hard work on behalf of all pilots, not only at Delta, but across the entire aviation system in the U.S. When he was the AGE chairman and we would have an ASAP report discussing a certain airport that was having a problem, all I needed to know that I could pick up the phone and call Steve and say, hey, we have an issue in airport XYZ, and Steve was on the phone getting it fixed. So he's a great volunteer, and thank you for your efforts. I'd like to also thank Captain Mike Schultz for recommending me to take over the directorship of SIAP. I tease Mike and say, you got me into this, but it's truly been a great experience, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Many have already talked about the incredible ALPA staff we have here, and if you would just take a moment to think of what Petra and her group have done this week. Every meeting went off without a hitch, every room was ready. She also and her staff did an off-site banquet that is just incredible to be able to move that many people to an off-site, have a banquet, and return them here. So again, to the ALPA staff, thank you for your incredible effort. I'd also like to thank the Delta MEC for their continued support in our efforts for safety. Also for Captain Jason Ambrosi for being here this evening and being with us and supporting our efforts. Also, I would like to thank Kristen Donahue. My wife is constantly reminding me that Kristen was a better vice chairman to me than I ever was to Scotty Hammond. Kristen, it is truly appreciated that you made the journey here today just to be here for me, and I truly, truly thank you. As many have mentioned, safety work is a 24-hour, 365-day job. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to accompany my grandson to an event. As we came in, the person who was running it said to my grandson, "Isn't it special that your granddad can be here with you today?" And without missing a beat, my grandson said, "Yeah, he doesn't have to be in Atlanta doing that safety stuff." I am so thankful to my parents for allowing me to take up the profession of flying. No one in my family was ever a pilot. We knew nothing about it. And I can only imagine their thoughts when I sat down at the dinner table one night and said, "I want to be a pilot." Instead of saying no, they said, "Let's find out how to do that." And I'm so thankful to them. And my 93-year-old father is hopefully home watching this on his computer, but knowing his technology challenge, I don't think so, so I'll have to show him the video when I get home. I'm so happy to have my three sons, David, Jeff, and Andrew, with me this evening, as well as my future daughter-in-law next month, Katie Kirk. I took all three boys flying when they were 14 years old. None of them bit, which is okay. Like me, they discovered their own passion and are very successful with it, and I am so proud of them for the work that they are involved with and doing. So thank you, boys, for your absolutely support over the years for my safety work as well. So my focus mainly is on ASAP. And if anybody in the room is unfamiliar with ASAP is, how it works, how an ERC works, please stop by and see my beautiful wife, Yvonne, because she can give you a full briefing on how ASAP works and how an ERC works. because of the countless calls that she's had to endure, as mentioned earlier, during dinner, traveling in the car, saying, "I'll be back in 1 minute," and 4 hours later you return. I truly could not have done this work without her support, and I thank you so much, sweetie, for all your support. I started by asking you to look backwards. Now I'm asking you to look forwards. It was already mentioned, anyone that is new to the ALPA safety volunteer ranks, maybe this is your first Air Safety Forum. All of us in this room were there at one time. We were at our first forum, maybe our first ALPA safety job. All I can ask is that you continue to be involved, continue to raise your hand, and I can assure you that someday in the future you'll look back on your ALPA safety work with pride that you were part of that ALPA legacy of the Air Safety Organization. Again, Captain DePete, Frank, I thank you all for this great honor.
Well, what do you think? Was that good? Come on now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right. Listen, we will either find a way or we will make a way. We will make one, right? Thank you all again for joining us this evening to recognize how ALPA pilots' perseverance through strength and unity has reshaped our industry and continues to make it stronger, safer, and more secure. Yes! That's what these people do. We've had a tremendous week of constructive, data-driven collaboration in all areas of aviation, which has now been capped off by this evening's awards banquets. With the guidance of our union's Air Safety Organization and our pilot volunteers, every part of our association is involved in supporting this event. From engineering and air safety, government affairs, IT, strategic member development and resources, to legal, communications, finance, human resources, economic and financial analysis, and of course, the general manager. Please, a huge, big standing ovation for these people. They do what you see here. All right. Once again, Pam, Linda, thank you so much. Well, all good things come to an end, so this concludes our 2022 ALPA Air Safety Forum. Thank you for being a part of it. A post-banquet reception is waiting for us in the foyer outside this ballroom. And could I ask our award winners and their families to please come forward to the stage for any photos that they would like to take. Please enjoy our reception and the rest of your evening. Travel home safely. We love you all. Take care.